Good afternoon from a very, very rainy Joburg. We're back day 9 of the 21-day, hopefully, journals. I'm going to do something bright today. I found these are little samples. They were in a sample book and they already cut velvets and silks. And I just liked the colors for today, and then I chose the background you see with the roses and the teal, I suppose, is a wallpaper sample from Effinger, which is, I think they're Dutch, and they make beautiful wallpapers, and I just like the colors. So I think the combination of the little samples and that, and I almost want to do them like little specimens on the page of little jewel boxes, something that I can pin or put on there that makes me happy. For this, I actually think I must do a double page because I've got enough of these little colours to really make an impact rather than a single page. But now I've got a very squishy page here, so maybe I'm going to take out the little booklet from a couple of days ago. That'll take that away, and then I'm just going to use some of these bull clips, whoops, to keep the page flatter. Okay, let's start. There's the full page, so it's really very nice. I want to get most of the rows in, so I'm going to line both of these pages with the wallpaper. That's a first panel. I just measured it and I cut it with pinking shears so that it would echo the little material things, and then this is not something to brag about, but this is my jug of vintage scissors. Most of them are pinking shears. Some of them work, some of them don't, but I have a compulsion. When I see them, I buy them. So that is where we are now. I'm just going to glue them down, and then I need to start laying out the colours, how I like them, and what goes and what doesn't go, which may be a long process for me. If I do the little swatches oblong, then obviously I can get more in, but if I do them rectangular like this, then I see more of the background, which I think is maybe better. Okay, I'm just going to continue shuffling colours here, and of course I'm one short, so let me go find one. I have more colours, but they're in like a cottony linen, and the others are velvets and silks. So now if I do add another colour, do you think you notice that there's now just one? Doesn't it really matter? Although these are all velvet and these are mixed, I think that'll be okay. I'm going to keep these others. Now I need to decide what I want to actually put on these things and how I'll adhere them, because if I pin them, I need to pin them before I stick the things down. I've started by pulling out some charms and putting them on. It's a little bee, and then that's a little postcard. I'm a big, I do post crossing and I do snail mail and pen pals and things, and mail has been atrocious obviously now, and then another little babushka. So I'm going to start adding some of that. I think this one I'll sew on, the little charm. So it's really just a little, I'm going to call it a jewel box of things that make me happy. I'm just layering things as I go, so there's a little love letter to my husband, a bird, I love birds, here's a little resin, it's quite thick, So none of these are attached and none of the little blocks are attached. What I don't know is whether I must somehow make a grid in the background to tie them all together, that they're not so loose. So I'm going to add some more stuff, and then I can see when I start assembling the page. I mean, I like the color, I like the idea, I like the symbolism behind things, and also it's cheering me up. So I've pulled out some postage stamps because they look like little stamps, and because they are actually just little artworks in itself. But see, now this one is portrait, so it won't work. I'm just going to add them. There'll be lots of living things. I always look towards that. This is it's got a sort of rainbowish, because obviously I want to also, it's quite a bright page. This is obviously foot and mouth, something like that. And these are all portraits, so that won't work, so that solves that part. I've snipped off a tiny piece of the rickrack, whoopsie, that I was hoping to use. It's such small details, but I'm just going to layer all of these little things. This is the background, maybe I add more stuff. And then this is all like little fragments, tiny bit of like vintage pom-pom trim. Maybe two things together. Yeah. Okay, so I think that actually is good. I'm just going to add more stuff and see how it goes. I like this. It's a vintage Swiss braid, but I'm a bit worried about the black on the page. Let's see what else I have. These are from Kaiser Craft. They're like glass or resin domed stickery things. This one says choose happy. They've got glue on the back. They're quite thick. I'm going to stick it down to the edge. I mean, because now it's going to stick, right? I can always add something. This is just a little balsa wood tag. I may colour it, stencil it. That's all just to add details to this page. So it's, can we call it a mini gallery? I've got this little box of vintage charms. I'm sure like my mom will remember them. I never use them because they're all primary colours, but they're actually, there's some Disney characters and they're actually so, a little rabbit, that's cute. Maybe for Easter. They're actually just, I mean, they're whimsical. It's a cat. What is this? Little pig. Let's do the pig. Okay, I think that's okay. I've got some tassels, I've got some wooden beads, not beads, buttons. So now I need to start sewing. I've got a sticker of a teacup because tea, coffee, any hot drink, doesn't matter what's wrong, that fixes it for me. I like it. It's just pure whimsy and happiness. I don't think I need to combine the items. If I did, how would I just draw a line? Let me think. I'm going to do nothing as a background to keep these little mini things together, but I am going to layer and layer and layer and embellish what I have So like here I've just added some net, tiny things just to add some texture. I don't actually know what I'm even calling these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sticking the stuff down, layering them up, and then I'll show you the mini canvases. I am using a combination of hot glue gun and this, it's like a PVA but it's much gloopier, not as wet. And then it's maybe difficult to see on camera where I'm sewing stuff, like the little pig I did in yellow thread, the bunny I'm going to do in like a turquoise. I'm choosing contrasting colors, but colors that are on the page, just so that things move across the page. My pages are getting there. This is all done, and then I'm gonna gold wax this and see how it goes. Actually, what I'm going to put on this tag is a wax seal. I love making wax seals and I don't use them often enough, so that also adds a bit of three-dimensionality. I am done. I had a little 6-year-old helper today. This was, for a simple page, it took long. Some of the things that I did that I liked, this little page doesn't have a lot going on, so I did some stitching, and I'm kind of sorry I didn't do it on this one. This one seems a bit plain, so I'm tempted to stamp, it's like a background. This is there's dots. The 6-year-old liked the heart. That's some gears. Some metal gears which I like. This is like a gold foil wax seal. There I layered some stuff. I like this little book plate. All of this. There's some repeats on elements and things. And then what I did, some movement between the individual pieces is, can you hear the 6-year-old in the background? I did some of the pieces overhanging, so some of the trims, some of the threads I didn't cut. I'm going to zoom in and then just sort of, so these are all things that make me happy, things I like looking at, and just symbolism and elements I like. I really enjoyed making this page, and so it's a really happy page to look at, purely because of the color, I think. So let me take a chance and hopefully not mess up to add some spots there. It's super tricky to stamp in there, but just that little bit of color that reads just as a blotchy blotch has made me happier. See, my tripod goes. Okay, that was day 9. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all the comments, and I hope you have a happy, bright day. Bye.